Inside news headlines, the Democrats said it's bad to show our president like a joke. I agree.
Lonesome Road's Beck. Speaking of which, Goldgate is gathering momentum. Now it's the LA Times questioning why Beck is telling his audience that the economy is going to collapse and they should be buying gold, while many of his advertisers just happen to sell gold, and one of them uses a convicted felon as a spokesman. Beck mocked the reporting, claiming the advertising and what he says in the non-commercial parts of his shows are unconnected. Well, not according to one of the advertisers. Reading from Politico.com, Peter Epstein, president of Merit Financial Services, which advertises on Beck's shows, says gold retailers expect favorable coverage from commentators on whose shows they pay to advertise. You pay anybody on any network, and they say what you pay them to say, said Epstein. They are bought and sold. So Beck is saying his argument for gold is organic, but one of the men who sponsors his program is saying he's paying Beck to say that Beck is, quote, bought and sold. Maybe more sold than bought. Beck's ratings have plummeted 30% from the first week of November to the first week of December.
All right, welcome back. Today, authorities finally going after shady gold dealers like Goldline International, the company made famous by Glenn Beck. Congress, along with California prosecutors, now launching separate probes into accusations Goldline overcharges for coins and misleads investors. Other critics add Goldline salespeople aren't even qualified financial advisors, and that the company stokes public fears so it can mark up its gold and profit. As we first reported in May, Goldline commercials for overpriced coins are woven into broadcasts by Beck and other conservative TV and radio hosts.
This is a top-notch organization that's been in business since 1960. It's the right thing for you and your family. You want some insurance? Trust the people at Goldline.
Well, of course, there's nothing wrong with buying gold to hedge, particularly when the Fed is printing money. I just don't want you getting scammed paying more than you have to. As a reminder, the average markup at Glenn Beck's Goldline is 90% above its actual value, 47% higher than competitors on average, with the biggest markup at 208%. So if you're worried that the government's printing money like a madman and you want to hedge yourself, it's understandable. Doing it by way of a gouging con artist like Glenn Beck and Goldline, just not the way to do it. Joining us now is a voice leading the charge against Goldline and other shady gold dealers, Democratic Congressman from New York, Anthony Weiner. And Congressman, I guess my question to you is, while I applaud your efforts to call them out for this, what exactly is it that you seek, and is it illegal for somebody like Glenn Beck to partner with a gold company and scam stupid people?
Well, whether it's illegal for Glenn Beck to do it, probably not. I certainly think it's unethical for them to be having a commentary program that talks about the sky is falling, and then those very same commentators are paid advertisers for companies like Goldline. Glenn Beck and Fox News and others, they should be ashamed of themselves because, frankly, these companies, has now been well documented, are ripoffs. The question of how Congress can get involved, we're going to be having a hearing in September, as announced today by the chairman of the Commerce Subcommittee, Bobby Rush. And one of the things we're going to look at is whether or not these should be regulated regulated as if they were selling commodities, not as if they're selling just basic products. Since they're advertising this as an investment, they don't get regulated like an investment. They basically are it's buyer beware. The Federal Trade Commission does have some ability to make sure that they are not violating interstate commerce, but we're going to take a hard look at seeing maybe they should have to disclose in their ads. If you knew that the melt value was only a tiny fraction of what they were selling the coin for, I think consumers would be protected from making that dumb decision.
I don't disagree with that. However, here's a comment from one of the VPs at Goldline on Good Morning America today defending their pricing structure. Take a listen to this.
Like if you're buying a piece of real estate. Like if you're buying a piece of real estate. Like if you're buying a piece of real estate. There are upfront expenses. You should hold this 3 to 5 years, preferably 5 to 10. This is a long-term strategy. If you're a speculator, this is not the right investment for you.
So upfront expenses, buying gold as a currency hedge, just like a piece of real estate. Last I checked on Schwab, I can buy gold for $9.99 as a transaction fee. Do you agree with the assessment that in order to buy gold, you have to pay massive upfront expenses that are 40 to 70% above the actual market value?
Well, if you buy through Goldline, you do. I mean, look, we've gone through this meteoric rise in gold prices. And, you know, like you said in the intro, it might be a good investment, it might not. Frankly, a lot of people think we're in a gold bubble. A lot of people think we're in a gold bubble. A lot of people think we're in a gold bubble. Some other people think it's a good hedge. But the fact of the matter is there are smart and dumb ways to buy gold. It is very dumb to buy gold through Goldline. Let's take a look. In 2007, we just for the hell of it said, what if you bought $1,000 worth of gold at the beginning of this meteoric rise, but you bought it from Goldline? You'd still be down 38% despite all the increases in gold prices. You'd still be down 38% despite all the increases in gold prices. The fact is they're very free to admit it, as they did this morning on Good Morning America. They have enormous, close to gouging upfront costs, which is what our report calls attention to.
So going back to my other question, though, Congressman, the scumbaggery, the weaselry, the fear-mongering, exploitation, and destruction of human life and psychology by Glenn Beck and Goldline is self-evident. However, what's illegal? Is the only thing potentially illegal basically the representation as an investment advisor without being regulated as such?
Well, first, scumbaggery is your word, but I may borrow it sometime.
I'm not sure if it's a word. I don't want you to end up in the same camp as Sarah Palin, so be careful.
The Attorney General of Illinois, of Missouri, found them guilty of violating FTC regulations. There are dozens of complaints against them at the Better Business Bureau. Just yesterday, Los Angeles County and the city of Santa Monica opened up an investigation of just this question. And I know that there's a class action suit of many people that are getting together to sue over this exact question. But Congress clearly needs to enter this field, because what we're seeing is that the vulnerability of consumers right now is profound. You have a lot of consumers who simply don't know how to invest and how to save their money, how to protect their nest egg. People like Glenn Beck are frankly taking advantage of that vulnerability, and Goldline is gouging them left and right. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can go to my website and take a look at the study we did. All we did is took their publicly advertised price, compared it to other publicly advertised prices, and the melt value. Those are the only three things you need to know to learn that Goldline is a ripoff.